Welcome into DC On Screen. I am your host, David C. Robertson. This is my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
Today we're going to get super spoilery on Supergirl 2x17, Distant Sun. To recap, the DEO discovers there's a bounty on Supergirl. She and Mon-El try to make it right with Mon-El's parents, but instead Mon-El has to give up something in exchange for Supergirl's safety. Winn fixes that portal from the other Kevin Smith episode, and the team boards the Daxamite ship to retrieve Mon-El. Lar agrees to let Mon-El return to Earth in peace. Rhea feels betrayed and kills him, declaring war on Earth. Meanwhile, Alex and Maggie get a little closer after meeting Maggie's ex. I think this was a better Supergirl episode than what we've gotten in the last few weeks.
I agree.
I wouldn't call it good.
No, it's definitely back on the right track, though. Supergirl's Supergirl again. She talked like Supergirl.
She did.
My last note was like, oh, thank God she's back.
Even when she was like fake pro wrestling punching that alien at the beginning, and it looked bad.
Oh man, it looked like a Power Rangers villain. It was so bad.
Yeah, it was real bad. And I've been especially in tune with Power Ranger villains lately because I've been watching some Power Ranger stuff.
But was it like the first thing that came to mind for you, Power Rangers villain?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I thought Master Vile was going to pop out.
It looked rough, man. I mean, that was the low point, I think, on Supergirl's graphics.
I was like, was this guy sent by the Clock King? I
don't know.
What was that guy's name? Never mind.
Oh, you know what that was? That was the Geomancer of graphics.
Graphical Geomancer.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was a little sad that this was the Kevin Smith episode. It wasn't as good as I was hoping it was gonna be, but
I was pretty pleased. I mean, like that's what we've been kind of griping about, though, is it hadn't felt like the same show in a while, and I felt like they finally got back on track, though.
Yeah, I don't necessarily need it to feel like the same show, just as long as it's the same characters.
yeah, that's what I really meant. Yeah, they hadn't the people hadn't been acting like themselves in a while. I mean, I guess everybody else, I don't know. Mainly it was just Kara, and she's finally back. She's finally hopeful. But how does she still have money?
I'm pretty sure she works for the DEO. We've talked about this.
Oh, yeah, but I keep thinking, like, paychecks. No, I don't know. I need her to go back to work.
I don't. I mean, I think the character will need to go back to work because that's who the character is, but...
Yeah. Well, I think the next episode's actually called, like, Ace Reporter or something, so...
I'm just, the money issue is fine with me because, I mean, they actually have to go report to HR if they're in.
I mean, you made some fun points. It's just still a giant loft. I don't know. It's just still weird.
They work for the government. They fight aliens. That's
fine. I would pay the crap out of people that fought aliens for me, but
Yeah, absolutely. I was bothered by a few things. I'm bothered by Kara, and I understand that she's hopeful and she's optimistic, etc., etc. I'm a little bothered by even like after season 1, after seeing like the kind of person her own mother turned out to be to some degree.
Yeah.
And then now with Lily and Luther, seeing how she's still like, but you're a mother, blah. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, clearly this woman is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Or selfish, at the very least.
Right.
Incredibly selfish. I did like the bit about the helicopter parenting. That was fun.
Yeah. There was actually a couple funny lines in there, like... Mon-El again with that, like, I'm a mixologist. It is an artistic profession. I didn't write down the rest of it, but it was a funny defense.
Yeah. I liked the... This is very unpalatable. Well, that's a very culinary way to put it. I cook now.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much everything with the Romeo and Juliet, like ongoing bit was pretty fun. You really got to finish that story,
Yeah, that was fun. The Mon-El versus Kara fight was a little off-putting because I kept thinking, like, just float above him.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
I hated a psychic guy saying, come at me, bro. That was lame.
Oh, no, that was one of those unintentional laughs where I'm pretty sure I wasn't supposed to laugh at the camera work when they were doing their little psychic battle, but I did.
Yeah.
It was like that. Yeah. Zoom into the other one. Now zoom into the other one. Now zoom in more. Everyone just
also, if that dude
looked like
was
they were contemplating Sudoku.
They went out of their way to say that guy was a powerful telepath.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like he should have known that that was a stapler at his back.
Yeah. I think Winn pointed that out. I think Winn did stop to mention that at least. Yeah, man. So, what about the parents? What do you think?
Kevin Sorbo actually kind of pulled it out this episode, huh?
I thought so. Now, I was actually a little pleased that overall the quality of their dialogue went up a little bit. I mean, straight from the bar scene to even the last scene, I thought they finally got like half believable words put in their mouth.
A little bit.
I'm saying half believable. Like this comes qualified.
I'll just take your word for it because I didn't believe this dialogue any more than I believed any other. I'll say a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
It felt a little more like something that someone might actually use their mouth to say. Just slightly more. I agree, though.
I just always hear Orson Welles. It's coarse on the ears.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, dude. I thought Sorbo was fine. Apparently we're done with him though.
Yeah.
I mean,
I knew she was gonna kill him.
You knew she was gonna kill him, right? I mean,
I knew it. I'm pretty sure she used the same arrow the same like knife design from Arrow this week. The one that Prometheus used on Mrs. Chase.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a popular scene these days.
I don't know. It probably wasn't the same.
Yeah, I know. I hope not. I really do. But, who cares? That would
right.
be kind of funny if they're like, we're out of props. Hand me that.
What is this? I don't know. Looks like it could be used for some stabbing.
This looks like a spouse stabber.
They totally went out of the way to show us that Legion ring.
Yeah. Yep.
Not hating on that.
No, it's a nice little send up, I guess. Now, the big problem for me, like the episode worked for the most part. You had all this, Supergirl finally saying that we need to fight to make peace and kindness in your heart and all that. I'm like, oh, she's back. This is refreshing. And even later, like Benoist actually did a pretty good job with this. When she comes back and she's hurt and they're, she's like, he's up there because of me. It was a little bit of a weak line to be honest, but I thought she did a great job. Mm-hmm. I only had two real problems. One was like nothing wrong with Maggie or Alex's performances here. But everything Alex did is like the weirdest possible, like the most awkward freshman level. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I couldn't believe. It was so unbelievable that a girl of her intelligence would think that was a good idea.
Yeah, but she has like virtually no relationship intelligence.
I know. I mean, I'm willing to buy that, but it still stood out as like, you don't know. Don't invite her. You don't need the third wheel at the dinner. I mean.
Oh yeah, no, that's awful.
Don't invite her to dinner. That was just weird.
Well, okay. To be fair, Alex did not do it. Alex talked to Maggie about it, and Maggie did it.
Yeah, I know.
But Alex wanted to show Maggie how, quote, cool she is.
I know. Okay. But just, that's not a thing real people do. Or maybe they are. I don't know. I'm not real people.
I mean, as far as I know, real people talk shit about their exes and make the person they're with currently say, I don't ever want to talk to that person. Yeah. So then when you run into each other, like, okay, well, bye. Okay, God, she was crazy. I know, right?
I don't really think I have any exes I'd invite to dinner.
No.
It's a lot of my history is it's over for a reason.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, but it's just inviting like your girlfriend's ex over. Okay, it was just a weird move. Just an awkward thing that I didn't think people really did. So it stood out. And then later, like you don't go confront the ex over something that's weird. Like that was just, what are you doing? And then like when all this actually worked out, I thought like no, she does not get meddling is not supposed to work out that well. Like that ended up being my takeaway. I was like, this is BS.
Well, it works out pretty well when it turns out like the other person was a cheater. So
I mean,
then all of a sudden it's like, well, I mean, I really can't throw stones.
Yeah. I mean, now the only thing I liked about that was when it came down to her having a conversation with Maggie when she confronts her about the cheating in the past. She doesn't make it about the cheating in the past. She makes it about like her not wanting to, share stuff in the present. Yeah. And she does it in like this extremely mature, like a therapist would have written this dialogue.
Right.
I was watching the whole thing and thinking like, man, that is just really well planned. It's the most mature decision I've seen Alex make in the entire show.
Yeah. No, I want to see these people actually at like, couples that I hear. Like not, my relationship isn't this bad, but I always hear things like, people screaming at each other across the hall, in the other apartment, It's always like, cheater, wife beater. You know,
Yeah.
people are calling the cops.
I mean, it's happened. I've looked out in my neighborhood and seen people standing in the streets yelling at a door frame.
Right.
I don't know over what.
No.
I mean,
it's always, somewhat, it's always, somewhat incomprehensible. Like, you can't, like, oh, God, what could they possibly be talking about? And then I watched Supergirl. And then I watched Supergirl, and Maggie and Alex did some stuff this week, and I'm like, that was the reason.
Oh.
That right there.
Because people make really poor decisions.
It was that. It was, she went and talked to her ex, and then she didn't tell her that she was a cheater. Okay. That.
Yeah.
They handled it way better.
Yep. I don't know. I mean, I've actually gotten to the point with, I've kind of, thankfully I've started to forget how easy it is to get in a loud argument like that. Because, like, personally, I mean, me and my wife, we've been dating on and off for like 16 years. We've yelled at about, I've been yelled at for about everything there is to be yelled at. Like, we've had most of these arguments.
Yeah.
And I try not to get in trouble too often. So it started to seem foreign to me when people make mistakes of that caliber. Like, why would you do that, Alex? No.
Yeah. It's like the relationship equivalent of the old Dave Chappelle joke. Don't do that. That's 5 to 10.
Yeah. You want that voice in your head to just yell every now and then. Stop what you're doing right now. Anyway.
Yeah. Bethany has that. She pulls it from from that Scrubs episode. She just has like the fat opera guy in her head going, "Mistake."
I think that's a Dana Gould joke too, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
You've been on a real comedy kick, and I somehow have as well because of it. I think
it's been a lot of fun.
I don't know. I think I may have started you on it with some of the Marin Dana Carvey stuff.
Yeah, that was pretty much what happened. It's your fault. It's your fault. I've laughed for 2 straight weeks now.
Yeah. So now we're just what's the old Christian saying? Iron sharpening iron. Mm-hmm. We're just doing that with me and you with comedy now.
There you go.
Like, we're just getting each other to listen to other things.
Yeah.
Which, oh my gosh, by the way, Tuesday, Louis C.K. drops a new special on Netflix, and I'm so excited.
Okay, if anyone's still listening to Supergirl, you just got some very useful news.
Yeah. Anyway.
let me point out one problem with the episode real quick.
Uh-huh.
And I'm done. It was an enjoyable episode. I thought the Alex Maggie thing was weird, but they wrapped it up well.
Sure.
Kara's back. Lovely line from Mon-El where he says, like, you believe that people can change and give them a chance to do it. I thought, yes, that's the character I love. Thank you. We're back. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But was shooting the window on the spaceship really the best thing Mon-El could come up with right then?
Well, at first I thought, no, shoot your mom. Shoot her.
I thought he was going to have to shoot his mom, and I still say that's the play.
Yeah.
Not almost...
Sacrifice that poor manservant.
Yeah. Who gets stabbed while he's going into space?
Like... Poor bastard doesn't have a chance.
No. That's what you get for being an underfoot figure. I just thought like risking all of them flying out into the vacuum of space seemed a little much. It just seemed like I was hoping you'd be like, no, there's an absolutely perfect reason. It was just a little much though, wasn't it?
You know what would have been perfect is and it would have fit with Mon-El's character if Kara would have been like, by the way, what were you thinking shooting that window out? And he kind of just stares and goes, Supergirl will save me?
Yeah. Right.
That would have been, because she totally would have.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but still, come on.
I thought it was stupid she was there in the first place, since the whole point was that she shouldn't be going.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was you knew she was going to send in, John, and that was a perfectly good play, but, you know. Sure. Anyway, and then we finally saw the transformation of the president.
Which I felt was unnecessary. We already know she's an alien.
They didn't just have to show you there at the end.
Yeah, they just did the same bit. They just like, oh, here she is in a little more light.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
Here's
cool.
her looking like a snake person.
Is she going to do something that kind of tells us what her motives are? Nope, she's just gonna grin in a really bad CG fashion, and we'll be gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, that's what happened. And no, I don't even know what to take away from her motives on this episode. Don't even know how to speculate it. But I've got
I feel like they're setting
3 or 4
up a
weeks to
villain.
figure out.
I feel like they're setting up a villain for season 3, really.
Maybe, and that'd be cool. I mean, I could hang out with Linda Carter for a season.
I don't know.
Supergirl versus the president.
Yeah, I don't know. It already feels like it's not a thing I want to see.
It is can't get behind that. Okay.
I kind of feel like it's not. Like they're gonna have to pull some amazing tricks out if they're gonna win me over on that one. I think.
I got you.
Monel made breakfast for her, and she's like, "You've changed," and I'm like, "Oh, really? He made breakfast.
It was a solid breakfast.
It was a solid breakfast, but that doesn't mean he's changed.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he's like suddenly the perfect guy now.
Yeah.
And then later on, she's like, "Well, you changed," and I'm like, "He made breakfast."
Well, he did sacrifice his existence on Earth for her. Or he was going to. I mean, let's be fair. That's solid.
He would have done that anyway.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, and I'm probably the only one that's expressed a huge sigh of relief when I saw that the portal had been fixed. Because I specifically, when they broke that, when she heat visioned that thing a few weeks ago, I was like, no, there's so much technology there. Mm-hmm. I'm glad Winn found that and scrapped it.
Speaking of Winn, I loved the way he looked at Monel and he goes, oh, "You finally saw Star Wars."
I've been waiting to talk with you about that.
Wow. So yeah, better than the last few weeks. It's on an upward trend, I would say.
Yeah,
Supergirl.
I think we're gonna enjoy the last half. We'll have to wait a minute. Currently, its next episode is for April 24th.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we're about to go on a break.
CW is going away for a little while, kids.
All right, well, I think that's all I have to talk about with Supergirl.
Yep.
We're going to be coming back and talking about The Flash 318, Abracadabra. We are DC On Screen. You can find every episode at dconscreen.com. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and wherever you listen, wherever anybody listens, or can listen, unless it's some kind of a weird gardening podcatcher.
Yeah, I don't think they're that specific, thank goodness.
I actually think they are. I've found some.
Oh, Lord.
Anyway, yeah, it's weird.
All right.
We're proud members of the Giant Size Team Up Network, giantsizeteamup.com, for all the cool shows over there, Booze and Phasers, and Blazing Defender Report, and Panel by Panel, and Breaking the Panel, and Marvel Cinematic Universe Podcast. Anyway.
Botched,
yeah.
There's a Pokemon going now, in case anyone wants to.
There is a Pokemon going.
For anyone who's still Pokemon going.
The network is growing by leaps and bounds.
Mm-hmm. One nerdy topic at a time.
Than a locomotive.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll be right back. Keep some DC on your screen, guys.